Hello, my beautiful followers. How is everyone doing today? Throw me some love heart showers as you jump on the live stream. I'm going to give people a second to jump on. But while we're waiting for a couple people to jump on, let me explain a little bit about why I'm doing this particular video. So I don't do a ton of directly sexual videos in terms of kind of the 1, 2, 3s of sex. But I've been getting hit from several women, and so this is going to be definitely geared more towards women, but men, you definitely should listen to it. Because, in truth, our sex is important whether we're a man or a woman, and if you have a woman in your life, you're really going to be impacted by this. But I've had several women lately tell me, well, maybe I'm just not that sexual. I'm just not that sexual. You know, I'm not like a man. And they like almost whisper it like, I'm not like a man. Like men are these like ravenous beasts. And it's interesting because as I'm listening to them, in my head, what I'm thinking is actually women are the ones that are like energizer bunnies that we can go and go and go. And we are meant to be more connected to our energy and that flow and that sensuality. And yet we live in a society right now that says that women aren't as sexual as men. And I hear all the time, I just don't have a high drive. I don't have a high sex drive. I get that from women all the time, especially when I get couples in my office and I'm working with some beautiful couples. It is often that the woman is saying, I don't have a high drive. I don't have a high drive. And I always question them on this. And here's why. Because first of all, the reason we're talking about this is because if our sex is struggling, guess what? The rest of our life is struggling. There is a struggle. And I get people who want to say, no, the rest of my life is fine. And I call total bullshit. I call total bullshit on that because you cannot be struggling in the bedroom and not have any struggles anywhere else in your life. The fact is our sex is a mirror to our lives. It is a beautiful mirror to places that we aren't seeing. And so when I hear from women, and actually sometimes men, I get men in here too that will be like, you know, Addison, my drive just isn't what it used to be. And there are lots of medical things that could go into that, but the fact is there's also a lot of energetic and spiritual stuff that goes into our sex drives, goes into our drive in life in general, in truth, because again, we're talking about this mirror. And so I get these women and they tell me, no, I don't have a drive anymore. And it brings me actually back to my own story. Years and years ago, before when I was still a therapist, I was working in eating disorders. The fact is, you know, I started doing my own work and I was shut down. I didn't have a sensual bone in my body at the time. You know, funny enough, I have a turtleneck on because when I met my mentor years ago, I was wearing this like big poofy collar. This one's like all see-through. You probably can't see it. It's like all sensual and see-through. So it's a different kind of turtleneck than the one I was wearing years ago when I started on this journey. And I remember being totally shut down. I was cold. I was frigid and frozen in my sex. I definitely was a prude at that point in my life. I know I went from prude to sex coach. Amazing. It's been a journey, but I remember going like, I just want to be able to have sex and like enjoy it a little bit. And throughout my process of learning and growing, and then also working with clients eventually, once I stepped into sex coaching, I have seen that a lot of times our belief that we are not sexual beings, that we are not sensual, first of all, that is the biggest thing that holds us back. It's our brains. Our brains hold us back from having our good sex, having that connective sex, really dropping into that hunger and the desire that we do have within us. So women, ladies, if you believe you have a low drive, you're going to have a low drive. Okay? Like our beliefs become reality in our life. And so if you're constantly saying, yeah, I don't want sex, I don't like sex, sex is boring, whatever, or sex is just for guys, and guess what? That is exactly what it's going to be. So I want you to, first of all, check out your beliefs. I'm not going to go deep into any of this because that's what my private one-on-one coaching and my programs are for. But I want you to look at your belief systems regarding your sex. if you have this belief system that you know, you never have an orgasm, sex is always for your guy, you know, you don't have a high drive, then that is exactly what you're going to get. So you first of all have to look at that, and you have to start to transition that. And there's lots of ways you can do that, but you have to start to transition that. Then you have to surrender into your sex. So many ladies, we have not learned to truly surrender. We don't live in our feminine energy a lot of times, and so we haven't learned to drop into our sex at a deeper level. Now that goes with those single ladies too that haven't dropped into sex with themselves, really touching themselves, or like going for the high end, you know, climax. We're not dropping into the actual bodies, our sensuality in our actual bodies, the sensations. And we definitely have these armored walls up. I talk about armor in a lot of my videos. These armored walls, again, with other people, and that comes from our heart space. Women's sex, it starts here. It starts in our hearts. It starts here. So if this is all locked up, then guess what? That's gonna be all locked up too. It's gonna be locked up too. You have to get in your body. If you're not surrendering to your sex daily, and I don't mean just in the bedroom here, so I cannot emphasize this enough, that sex does not start in the bedroom. With yourself, with your energy, it starts as a daily process of embodying your body. It starts as you surrendering to who you are and really feeling your physical being. It starts with you breathing and breathing down into places that you're not used to breathing into. So I tell my clients constantly, I want you to breathe into your genitals right now. I want you to breathe into your genitals. So if you're sitting here there watching it, I want you to breathe into your genitals. And I want you to like type like what kind of comes up. Like, do you have this beautiful energy that arises within you? Can you even breathe at that level? Because the fact is, our breath, when we hold our breath, that keeps us from feeling our own energy. It keeps us from moving our own energy. So then I want you also, as a lady, and men too, but I want you to look at, are you feeling safe with your partner? Are you allowing your partner to give to you? If you're only the one giving, if you're like in this energy of like, I have to give, then you're not surrendering. You're missing out on massive pieces in your sex. You're missing out on so much beauty and so much bliss. We have to allow ourselves to receive. And I know a lot of women out there go, oh, I received enough. I received enough. No, keep going. If you are feeling like you have a low drive, guess what? You need those good orgasms over and over and over again to move the energy in your body, to break up those blockages in order for you to feel energized in your entire life. We're not just talking about like having a quick get off. Guess what? That's bullshit. I don't want to talk about that. That's not beneficial for anybody. I'm talking about that consistent space of feeling your sex, feeling your energy, allowing it to really drive your day, drive your mood in a positive direction, fix your mental health, all of those spaces. That's why I talk about sex, not just so we can have these like 30-second climactic get-offs. Anybody can do that. We've got vibrators for that are callousing our bodies, all of that. And that's the next thing I want to hit with you guys. Again, not going super deep into any of this today, but ladies, so many of us have trauma and blockages and have been hurt in other ways. And guess what? We hurt ourselves by saying yes when we really don't want to, when we really mean no. And what ends up happening is we callous our bodies, and then we take these big Hitachi, I wish I had my big Hitachi vibrator in my hand right now, these big Hitachi vibrators, and we try to almost like jackhammer the orgasm out of us, and guess what? We end up callousing our bodies, we callous our energy, we put all these energy blocks within us, and then our biggest energy block a lot of time is our heart, because we get really stuck with this emotion, and we don't allow it to flow, we don't allow ourselves to feel it. And what ends up happening is we don't feel our sex. I can tell you, I told you the story of years ago when I I first started and how prudish and shut down I really was. And I mean like really shut down. I look back and I go, wow, I'm surprised my mentor took me, because I really was that incredibly shut down. And a lot of that was unhealed trauma wounds and abuse wounds. And it was a lack of being embodied in my physical body. And I had to move through that stuff. And sometimes that's not fun. Sometimes that does not, I mean, there can be fun in it. There can be pleasure in it. But in order to uncallous yourself, sometimes you have to feel a little bit of the discomfort. And that's true of our entire lives, in truth. You know, to move forward, to feel the bliss, a lot of times we have to feel that discomfort. The same thing goes for our sex. Now, I'm not telling anyone to go have super painful sex. What I'm saying is sometimes the decallousing process isn't comfortable. It's not pleasurable, but we have to breathe into it. I can tell you, because the fact is, like, women and men, we are always holding energy in our genitals. Like, we always have things getting stuck there. And so, like, if I'm having sex with a partner and they hit something, I'm like, whoo, like, that is actually, like, that's a little tender. That's like, I think there's something stuck there. I will breathe into it. Now I'll communicate with my partner. I'll be like, you need to slow down. Like, obviously you're hitting on something that is needing to release. And so, like, we'll communicate. But that is the process of de-thawing your sex. That is the process. And so it's not always gonna be what we see in porn. It's actually never gonna be what we see in porn. But like this, like hanging from the chandeliers kind of energy. The fact is, we have to first embody ourselves. And that's uncomfortable. That's uncomfortable for a lot of people, because we do not embody ourselves as a general public. And so we have to connect with our breath. We have to decallous our genitals. Then we have to decallous our lives. The fact is, like, you can have, I want your sex to feed your life. I want you to have that orgasmic life. And if you are stuck in your sex, if you are not surrendering, if you have these negative belief systems, I want you to look at where they are in the rest of your life. I want you to look at where you're not willing to receive pleasure, where you're not willing to just breathe into something and hold while you move through it. Or do you run? Do you run? Do you go like, I don't need an orgasm day. It's not a big deal. I have a low drive. Do you go into those crazy belief systems? Or do you go, I deserve this. I'm worthy of pleasure in my entire life. My body is beautiful and amazing, and I can receive. Do you step into your sensuality in your daily life, or are you judging it? Are you allowing yourself to wear that kind of sexy shirt or that dress or those panties? Or are you closing it down? Are you closing down your energy? So lots of the different things to really think about over the next few days, I would say, because to just judge yourself as not having a high drive, a lot of times that is so not true. I can't tell you how many ladies I have worked with that come to me and say, I have a really low sex drive. And then by the time they leave, they're like, honestly, I'm like a bunny rabbit. Like, I'm going and going and I'm going. I'm having these multi orgasms, and not just in my sex, not just in my bedroom. My life has become more orgasmic. My life is feeling more blissful. I'm just more passionate. My emotions are calmer. So, the fact is, before you judge yourself as being low sex drive, shut down, try doing the work. Try really doing the work. Try working with myself or somebody else who is versed in energy work, trauma response, all of those things. And then, if you've done all the work and you've really given it a good shot, then you can say you have a low drive. But the fact is, many people think they have a low drive that actually are just disconnected from their sex and have these beliefs and calluses energetically that are holding them back from truly just living the life that they desire. It's not even about your sex, like living that immense orgasmic life that they desire. So, anyway, go do some self-work. Go do some inner inner work. Think about it. See maybe where some of this might be hitting home for you guys. So I have a couple of calls. I'm going to get off of here. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Go grab that fire within. And if you're interested in one-on-one coaching or one of my group programs or my online programs, then head over to addisonbell.net and check me out. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Bye.